Hi, I'm Phil Ashey from the American Anglican Council with your weekly Anglican Perspective. It is the eve of GAFCON 2018. Some of us will be leaving in just a few days for Jerusalem, where this worldwide gathering of over 2,000 leaders, archbishops, bishops, clergy, lay people from over 50 countries, and so many Anglican churches all over the world. The theme is proclaiming the gospel faithfully to all nations. So it seems particularly appropriate on the eve of GAFCON to talk about the Holy Spirit in mission, as we've been talking about, but to make one simple point, and that is that the Holy Spirit universalizes mission. The Holy Spirit takes our mission and spreads it to all people. It's what we read in Acts chapter 2 on the very day of Pentecost, where it says that, beginning in verse 5, that there were staying in Jerusalem God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. And when they heard the sound of the rushing wind and the tongues of fire that were the sign of the outpouring of the Holy Spirit, when they heard that, a crowd came together in bewilderment because each one heard them speaking in his own language. So isn't it wonderful that right at the heart of the Holy Spirit being poured out upon the church, all nations are gathered, just as they will be gathered in Jerusalem in a few days. Now, the disciples were filled with the Holy Spirit. They came out of the upper room and into the streets. God-fearing Jews from every nation gathered. Everyone heard them speaking in his own language. We don't know whether they were speaking languages that they didn't know, the disciples, or whether it was supernatural tongues that everyone in the crowd was given the interpretation to understand and translate into their own language. But either way, the result is the same. It says that the people were amazed because we hear them declaring the wonders of God in our own language. It is literally the reverse of the curse of Babel that divided humankind with so many different languages. And once baptized in the Holy Spirit, the disciples, and particularly as represented first by Peter, understood that the Holy Spirit was given for the purpose of pouring out God's blessing upon all nations. And they understood it in Peter's sermon in terms of the prophecy spoken by the prophet Joel in chapter 2. In the last days, God says, I will pour out my Spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. And everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Everyone. So the Holy Spirit's about proclaiming the gospel to all nations, to everyone. And on this eve of that very theme in Jerusalem at GAFCON, as we gather Anglicans together from all over the world, may we remember that we need the Holy Spirit to universalize the very mission that Christ has given to us.